one of my favorite quotes is the highest form of compensation is communication. And you can look at that on almost every industry. When you look and everybody can have their own personal beliefs when it comes to this, but this is reality. Typically, who gets paid the least in a sales process? Usually, the person doing the work. A lot of times, I assist a lot of people in construction, and a lot of times I know that the person, like, let's say if they were putting on a roof, I know that a lot of times the person that's actually putting the nail into the shingle, into the decking, probably made the least per hour or per value result than everybody in that chain. The business owner made more, the salesman probably made more, right? But the person who is a salesman is the communicator, communicates between the prospect and the business owner. The business owner is this communicator, communicating between the different vendors, the different service providers, the different insurance companies, the different permits peoples. So there is a arguable reason why the communicator is making more than the laborer, but the communicator does make more in every instance. And it sounds like what you're saying is, if you knew how to adapt your communication sooner than later, then it would have turned into dollars.
Exactly. Right. Absolutely. And being able to not only being able to adapt your communication, but know how to utilize other people's communication skills to get your information across, right? And that's a key. I think that's a key element in what I do in every different business that I'm working with. So just using that skill set.
Oh yeah, innovation is in the team, and it's funny how I don't know if are you into golf at all?
I'm not, but I'm kind of envious of those who are, because I feel like I want to go spend time doing it someday. But I'm like, man, right now I've just I can't seem to hang up that work hat long enough to go out there and do it. So,
hey man, whenever you're in Jacksonville, we can go just hit aimlessly whenever you want to, man. That's something that I'm getting into, and the reason why I brought it up is I noticed that a lot of people who've made a lot of notoriety and a lot of money during teamwork are shifting to forcing themselves to do something individually like golf. And then when you ask them, they'll tell you, this is the hardest sport that I've ever played, right? And vice versa, the people who've never made a significant amount of money working as a team, they believe that, they work better alone. Actuality, in my opinion, nobody works better alone. There's innovation in a team, and it takes teamwork. It's funny how coincidentally they're going the opposite way. Whereas the people who've learned and utilized teamwork are shifting to individual sports. The people who are doing things individually, whether it's a sport or a business, they're starting to learn more about team and communicating with getting other people to communicate. Have you always been a proponent for team, or is that a relatively new?
I would say it's relatively new since 2000 and probably 2010. I like my bio said, I grew up on a farm from the time I was a preteen to the time I graduated high school. Kind of got thrown into it and didn't want to be there, right? And didn't want to be there at all because we didn't own it. I worked from 3 a.m. to before school started. I went to school, got out on the work program, worked from about 1 p.m., 2 p.m. to 6 or 7 o'clock every day. And Saturday and Sunday, it was all day long, every day. 1 week of vacation a year, and the rest of the time was work. So it was, for me, it was all what I had personally had to do to accomplish my day and to get things done. And there really wasn't a team effort. Yeah, there were other people there working, but I wasn't trying to work with them per se, and unless somebody was helping me feed cattle or something, and it was just the two of us. But for the most part, it was always a self-driven thing, and that's all I focused on. Leaving there after high school, I went to work in a meat plant, and still at that point, I was still, what do I need to get accomplished to get my 9 to 5 done throughout the day that I needed to focus on? I wasn't worried about what everybody else was doing per se and how to make their lives better or help them, even though I was a systematic person, helping them with systems that ultimately did make their lives better, but I wasn't focused on the team aspect. It wasn't until I was introduced to the direct sales industry in 2007. And even in 2007, after I was introduced to it, it took me a few years to realize how important the aspect of doing something with a team. I mean, most people overlook it, but you can do if you're a business owner and you own a business, no matter what it is, if it's conventional, traditional, direct sales, whatever it is, your focus should be team driven. You should rely on a team. You should make everybody feel like they're part of the team. Even if you're the owner, they should feel like they're part of your team and vice versa. And what happens when you start to do things that way, in my opinion, is everybody starts to feel elevated. And it's not just about you, and they start to feel it's about them, and it becomes a whole team culture, and they start to realize that their role is equally as important as everybody else's. And that's why I came up with the Riser crew and co-founded it, because it's a crew. It's not just one person that has all the skill sets. It's a group of people that have a variety of skill sets. And if John doesn't know what he's doing, he can go ask Joe, and Joe will for sure have that skill set. So it's kind of I love that aspect of team, of having teams. That's kind of a long way to answer your question, but maybe that'll get it.
Hey man, we're on a podcast. I encourage you to take as long as you want. On a 30-minute podcast, I want them to be like, dang, Rodney talked for 20 minutes and Randolph talked for 10. Like that. That'll be a perfect podcast for me. Innovation is definitely in the team, and a lot of people don't realize what gets measured gets better. That's just a fact. But what gets measured and reported gets exponentially better, and that's what working with a team does. So, there are different types of teams, right? You got teams that wear football jerseys, and you got teams that wear button-down Dickie shirts.